All right, what's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to break down exactly where to use AI, where not to use AI, where to do things AI assisted when it comes to cold email. Because, a lot of people talk about, AI appointment setters nowadays, AI systems for like go to market campaigns and like getting appointments, getting clients. But like a lot of people, they end up using AI in the wrong place. They end up doing stuff manually in the wrong place. And so it all just becomes a bit of a mess up when it comes to actually building the system and generating leads consistently. So I'm going to make sure you guys have a solid understanding of like where exactly to use AI at each stage of like the cold email setup, like the entire thing, and where to make sure that you're doing everything yourself, just so you're not burning leads or like losing actual effectiveness in the cold emails. So first thing is the strategy and the targeting. So this should be human led, mainly human led, because you're the one that's taking a lot of the sales calls, you're the one that's getting the market understanding. So AI can, like I'll mention here, can understand markets, understand pains, understand what competitors are doing, can craft like it can understand like everything that the market is going through, and that can be used to put into the cold email specifics when it comes to the copy and stuff. But when it comes to like the ICP definition, when it comes to creating offers, angles and pain points, deciding which verticals matter in the specific niche, positioning of the offer, all this stuff, like you want to still do it yourself, because the human, like you guys are just going to understand it better than AI. Even though AI can come up with something quite quickly, what you want to use AI for is just like this is the part where it's like AI assisted. So like brainstorming ICP pains, it can help you like come up with ideas, but it really needs to be human led. Otherwise, the whole campaign will just fall on its ass, because like your understanding of the market is literally the foundation of the entire campaign. Doesn't even matter what you're running when it comes to any form of marketing, advertising. That's just how it works. So you want to be thinking yourself for this one. But you want to use AI just to help you generate ideas, help you understand a few things, might help you expand on a few things. But by and large, you want that to be yourself. The next thing, lead sourcing. This is just wants to be completely AI and automation led. So tools like Clay, Apollo, A Leads, wherever you're getting leads, whatever niche you're in, if you're in e-commerce niche, you use Brand Nav, all these databases. What you want to do is pull those leads at scale with automations, enrich with LinkedIn company data, pulling emails, phone numbers, tech stack, funding, hiring signals, all of these things, not just hiring signals, but also just industry relevance, all of this stuff, which I'll mention in section 4 as well. But to find leads, you want to make sure that you're doing that automated, because you don't need to spend time finding the bulk leads. You want to do this all with AI. What you want to do is with yourself is just when it comes to making filters, what specifically you want to look for, what makes a lead qualified, and all this stuff. And just watching it over to make sure it's doing it right. So, but by and large, you want to automate this whole thing so you don't have to spend any time doing it. List cleaning, validation, yeah, you want to 100% automate this. Whether you're using never bounce, zero bounce, million verifier, just cleaning all the emails, list cleaning, cleaning company domains, cleaning job titles, all of this like annoying stuff that you never want to do manually. 100% automate that with AI, and you can do that all in Clay. And then it comes to section 4, which is AI lead qualification. This is something we use internally. We use it for our clients, and it works extremely well when you do it properly. And it is AI assisted mostly. So the main thing you want to do is just watch it over with yourself or a setter, whoever's running these systems, to make sure that it's doing it accurately. But basically, it's all based on making prompts in Clay that validate each of the leads that you got from Apollo, each of the leads that you got from A Leads, whatever database you got the leads from, actually checking each row for industry relevance, for hiring patterns, for marketing spend indicators, funding events, website language, employee count, literally all the firmographics that you want to be targeting. You can get extremely granular on what makes a qualified lead. And nowadays, guys, with cold email, the leads that you're sending to and the actual relevance and like how high quality the list is like literally the 80% of the success that you're going to get with cold email. Like the messaging, yes, it's important, and yes, we'll get into that in just a second, how to use it, what to do with that. But like if you're sending to bad leads, the cold email campaign is just not going to work. If you want 1%, 1 to 1.5% positive reply rates, if you want to still get like a 0.5+% appointment booking rate, so where you send like 200 emails, book an appointment, you have to do this, because no matter what industry you're in, just getting leads from Apollo and putting them straight into a campaign, it just doesn't work anymore. It worked 3 years ago, it doesn't work anymore. So you need to make sure you're doing this, and this can be AI assisted with stuff like Clay. So the AI can score leads based on ICP fit, buying likelihood, urgency signals, all this stuff that you can actually put in Clay. All you need to do is connect your GPT key, like from ChatGPT, and actually make your own prompts, adjust them. Clay will generate prompts, and then you just pick like GPT 4.1 mini, GPT 4.0 mini, whichever, like a cheap model that doesn't cost as much for the API calls. But then you can do all this, and it's all pretty much with AI. When it comes to what like you must do though in this section is you want to review everything. So, confirm that it's doing it properly, identify like if AI is making mistakes when it comes to the accuracy of the qualification of what it's doing, and then you just make adjustments based on that, and then you make, strategic decisions on who gets messaging. So AI filters, human, manages the system, and output stays high quality. So you don't just want to give it straight to AI, like something like, cleaning emails, because that's obviously very simple, but something like this, you just want to watch it over yourself, but AI will do the work for you. Section 5, so this is now actually copywriting messaging sequences. Now, I'd be lying if I said AI doesn't make very good copy when you know how to prompt it properly. But again, you want to make sure you're refining the tone, ensure the copy matches the offer, ensure the positioning is right, make sure it doesn't sound like a bot. Adjusting it per niche, like avoiding like cringe or over automation. But yeah, this is a big one. Like avoiding these weird AI obvious triggers that business owners are just going to know it's AI. So those weird M dashes, all of that crap. But generating scripts, A/B variations, what exactly to personalize. So ideas for personalization, you can use AI for this as well. Generating random spin tags, you can just literally just put your copy into ChatGPT and just add as much spin tags as possible without changing the email. You can do all that with AI. I'll make separate videos about, because I'm creating actually GPTs, so stuff like this, where like a cold email copywriter GPT that can actually help you do all this, and it's targeted for any industry, and this exact same thing we've used to book like 260 calls at this point with like agency owners, consultants, and whatnot. But yeah, it's going to help you do that. Definitely watch out for a video like that. Section 6, sending engine. So whether you're using Instantly, Smart Lead, Email Bison, you guys probably know this all can just be automated now. So warm up, send scheduling, inbox rotation, domain rotation, daily limits, auto stop campaigns, auto push replies to N8N. I'll get into N8N in just a sec and where that specifically can be useful. But when it comes to Instantly, the main thing really is just watching over the deliverability, whether it's yourself or your setup, watching over the inboxes, making sure the inbox placement is good, the health scores are good, everything is fine. You're actually tracking the metrics. You don't want AI to like track metrics or deal with CRMs. You want to be managing that, and I'll get into that in a later section. But like, you want to make sure as the person running it, that all the campaigns are working, everything's chill, because you can't expect AI to understand the system, make changes. You still want to manage that yourself. But yeah, by and large, all the sending can be taken care of through Instantly, of course. Section 7. So this is like managing replies, inbox management, handling objections and all this stuff. And now, what I'd say here is it's a hybrid approach. So you want to use AI, but always have a human in the loop, which is what Instantly has when it comes to its reply agents. But, AI can automate, the classification of the reply, drafting replies, suggested follow-ups, getting speed to lead when you're asleep. You can get an N8N workflow to just send back a message, whether it's if they ask for a calendar link, if they had an objection, you can quickly get back to them. If, you're asleep, you're set as asleep. So that's when it becomes really useful. But, suggesting when to send calendar links, summarizing threads for setup, pushing everything into a Clay CRM automatically, pushing things into the Clay CRM, it can do that as well. But when it comes to like actually handling the objections, humans are still 10 times better. So I've been looking at making like a appointment setter GPT. It's very good at drafting replies, but I always check it myself and make sure the reply is going to set the appointment, handle the objection, or just whatever the reply is meant to be. So you want to make sure, when it comes to actual qualification, objection handling, more nuanced responses, or for more like harsh objections or harder things to handle when it comes to prospects being difficult to set them in. Relationship building, AI has just said a weird thing here, but like basically nurturing the lead. You want to make sure, you're just watching over everything because you understand that better than AI still at this point. Section 8, multi-channel follow-up. So, LinkedIn, AI automates, auto sending connection requests, drafting first reply, bump messages, daily reminders, LinkedIn profile enrichment. When it comes to like, because like if someone applies on cold email, you want to automate a connection request on LinkedIn. You definitely want to do that. You can use things like HeyReach, connect it with Clay, do things in N8N. Again, I'm going to make videos essentially teaching you guys how to build out these full client acquisition infrastructures that are just insanely effective for generating leads, generating appointments in whatever B2B niche you're in, whether it's software companies, e-commerce, agencies, consultants, brick and mortar, whatever. Basically, yeah, so this is one, when it comes to phone calling leads, obviously 100% human. The AI appointment setters, the voice callers, they're just not that good right now. You want to make sure you're doing this all by yourself, or whether it's your setter that you're training, dialing engaged leads, handling objections, pre-booking qualification, chasing prospects, quick report, all this stuff. You want to make sure that you're doing that. Section 9 is CRM management. We actually manage all our cold email leads in a Clay CRM, not like HubSpot or Go High Level or like Pipedrive or any of this stuff. But you can, whether you're using it in a CRM, that's absolutely fine. But like what you want to automate is creating, updating leads, auto tagging, enrichment, KPIs, tracking, reply categories, setting reminders and stuff. But what you want to do is make sure that you're watching over the CRM, constantly moving leads to the pipeline. Qualification decisions, not what AI kind of drafted this. So yeah, this is the thing. You always want to make sure, even for this video, like I've got AI helping me, like specifically with this video, but some always want to just think for yourself, guys. Like that's the most important thing when it comes to building any of these systems. But yeah, when it comes to like a Clay CRM, for example, I'm not going to go on the specific Clay CRM because it's got all these phone numbers and all this stuff that I'm not going to share. But you want to make sure that when it comes to enriching for, phone numbers, of course, like only do this if it's compliant with all the rules in your countries and all this stuff. But like if it's warm leads and they've already engaged with the stuff that you've sent them, you can always, call them up. When it comes to doing that, you want to make sure that you're doing that. And when it comes to managing the CRM tracking leads, you want to make this I'd say it says hybrid here, but I'd say mostly, do this yourself. Section 10, appointment booking. So sending calendar links, all this stuff that can be done, with AI or with a human, doesn't really matter. Reporting and KPIs. So this one is just added as well. But when it comes to tracking metrics, actually ignore this. I'd recommend tracking metrics all yourself manually. So when it comes to Instantly, our own Instantly, we've got our campaigns here. I always just come into Instantly and check how everything's going. 5.8% reply rate, 25% of those positive replies. So that's in KPI. And then all the opportunities. And then we book like 24 calls from like 4,000 messages sent. So it's like a 0.6% appointment booking rate. Pretty much the broad metric that you want to be getting is 0.5% appointment booking rate at least, and like 1 to 1.5% positive reply rate. That can definitely be achieved. It's not that easy nowadays because you do have to personalize correctly. I've made a video about specific cold email strategies when it comes to how to position the offer, how to script it, how many words it should be, how long it should be. Literally one of my most recent videos was about that, so definitely check that out when it comes to specific scripting and positioning. But essentially, what AI should do is, enrichment, validation, lead scoring, sourcing, drafting, classification, kind of drafting, objection handling, replies, and all this stuff. And, it can help you with KPI tracking, but, I'd always manage that myself. But when it comes to what humans should do, you should always be the human in the loop when it comes to managing replies. You are your appointment setter. When it comes to managing the system as a whole, figuring out where you need to make changes and all this stuff, you don't want AI to do that because you can just risk just burning leads, ruining the system. So don't do that. But higher level stuff is always, you still want it to be yourself, but there's so many things that we can automate. So I just wanted to make this video because a lot of people are talking about this, the magic of AI appointment setting, but in a lot of ways, the human doing it yourself is 10 times better. And in a lot of ways, doing it with AI is just 100% the way to go, and definitely shouldn't be doing anything manually. So it's essentially about building AI assisted acquisition systems nowadays, which a lot of people talk about, but like actually doing it in a way that's effective, because some people still do things manually, it doesn't work. Some people still, you just want to automate everything, that also doesn't work. You need to be very diligent with what you're actually automating and what is AI assisted and what you're still doing yourself. And essentially, this is exactly how you build cold email systems nowadays. So like you can book an absolute shit ton of appointments with using, like, just following this stuff, guys. Obviously, this is the high level stuff when it comes to specific how to specifically do certain things. I've got heaps of videos about cold email doing that. But yeah, this is just a broad overview of where to use AI and where to not to use AI, so that you guys don't get like confused, and so that you can scale with ease. Book 30 appointments a month at least if you're sending like 200, 300 emails a day, and then you can just scale even further. Doesn't matter what niche this is going to work. Yeah, I just wanted to make this video to make things more clear when it comes to AI. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. I might make one of these for LinkedIn as well, so watch out for that. If you guys want any other videos, just maybe write something in the comments and I'll see if I can make a video about it. I obviously want to help you guys, book appointments, close deals and all that stuff. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.